Okay, hi everyone. Today we want to talk about the time allocation for SBL exam. A lot of students ask me this question: how am I supposed to know how much time I'm given or how much time I should use to answer each of the question? There are some calculation that you have to do, and some students, after listening to the calculation, they feel like they are more tense up, they are more pressured by doing the calculation. But it's up to you, lah. I would say that you got to practice how to do the calculation on the time allocated to each of the subtopic so that you will understand better how the flow of your exam is supposed to be. Because time arrangement and time management in SBL is very important. It's the utmost important. Uh, because we want to make sure we can answer all the questions, and so we do not have any chance, or we do not actually miss any chance of obtaining more marks, right? So we want to maximize the marks that we can get. So we need to answer all the questions to make it open for 100 marks, right? To make ourselves open for 100 marks. Okay, right. So we will discuss this topic based on the new structure of SBL. New structure of SBL means we have 3 hours and 15 minutes to answer the questions, and we are given the preceding material 2 weeks before the exam. So we don't count preceding material in our discussion because preceding material you have about 13 days, 13 to 14 days, depending on your time zone in each country. Um, in Malaysia, I would take it conservatively, about 13 days, right? You have 13 days to prepare yourself for the presim material. And so you have 13 days to analyze your presim material. But just a reminder to all students, you are not allowed to bring your own annotated presim material into the exam hall. A copy of presim material, which is a clean copy, will be available on your computer-based exam platform, but you cannot bring your own copy. Right? Please take note on this. Okay. So let's talk about 3 hours and 15 minutes. In total, I will convert it into minutes so that I can calculate easily. In total, we'll have 195 minutes to answer our SBL questions. Now, some students, they will minus out the 15 minutes because they deem that the 15 minutes is for them to analyze the question. I would say it's up to you. Actually, it's up to you. You want to take the 15 minutes as a buffer, also possible. But then, for simplicity purpose, I will just take it as 195 minutes, right? Now, in order to know how long you are supposed to allocate for each question, these are the things that you have to ask yourself, and you have to practice beforehand before you go to the exam. Right? You have to practice this. The first question, or the first thing that you have to find out, is how long do you need to read the task and exhibits? Because even though you have received material, the task requirement and also the additional exhibits are only disclosed to you when you go to the exam. So it means when you enter the exam hall and you look at the computer-based exam platform, then only you will be able to read the task requirement and also the additional exhibit that will be given to you. So you still need some time to read through the task requirement and also the exhibit. So you got to practice before you go for exam to check how long in total do you need to read all the tasks and to read all the exhibits. And some of you, if you have the habit of doing answer planning when you read the exhibit, you also have to count the time you have taken to do your answer planning. Right, so I will count the time in minutes. So you got to go through at least one time. I would say at least one time, but I think it should be more than that, right? To find out how long do you need to, how many minutes do you need to do this part. Then the remaining time is the part that you are going to use it to write your answer. So that remaining time will be divided by 100 marks, because that remaining time is for you to write the answer for the 100 marks, right? So assuming, let's talk about one example. Assuming you use 45 minutes to read the exhibits and also the task requirement, and also potentially you do some answer planning. So let's say the whole process, you will need 45 minutes. So you have a total of 195 minutes, you minus 45 minutes, it will be 150 minutes, which is your remaining time, right? So it means you have 150 minutes, is 1.5 hours for you to write for the 100 marks. So it means you will have 1.5 minutes per marks. Then you will take this 1.5 minutes to times the marks allocation for each of the subtask requirement. Then you will know for each of the subtask requirement how many minutes in total you are allowed to focus on that question. Okay. Now, if you start your exam at, for example, 9 a.m., then you will need to start calculating from 9 a.m. For the first subtopic, how long do I need to how long do I have to answer the first subtopic? So let's say you have like 40 minutes to answer the first subtopic, sub question. Then from 9 a.m., you can answer until 9:40 a.m. Right? So at the moment when you reach 9:40 a.m., please do not hesitate to jump into the next question. Um, you cannot be continuing even though the time has reached, because once you drag the first question, you are going to drag the rest as well. So we do not want this to happen. You need to be strict to yourself. When the time reach, you got to jump to the next question. You got to skip and go to the next question, and you have to do this continuously until the last question, so that you have the chance to answer all the questions and maximize the marks that you will get upon the entire 100 marks. If you drag for the first question, you're going to drag furthermore for the second question, and you're going to drag furthermore for the third question. And in the end, you will have one or two sub questions that you will not be able to answer. And that will represent 0 marks, because you never answer anything. So we do not want this to happen. All right. So this is just a brief idea about how do you allocate your time. So um, some students may ask, how long is considered long to read the task requirement and exhibit? I would say this is very much depending on individual, because the reading speed of every person will be different, and the interpretation, the speed of interpreting the meaning in the passage is also different. So you need to find out your own speed. You need to find out the time that you need to use to read through all the task requirement and also the exhibits. I would say for Malaysian students, I would say 45 minutes is quite justifiable, and in the sense that I think it shouldn't be further longer. I would say so. 45 minutes, it should be at the maximum end, right? So if you can go for shorter time, then it's the best. But if you find yourself need longer time, like for example, you need 1 hour to actually do your analysis, if you are able to write all your answer in 2 hours and 15 minutes, means the remaining time, then it's okay, no problem. You can continue. But if let's say you find it very difficult to complete within the 2 hours and 15 minutes, then perhaps you have to train yourself to read faster or to understand faster, to shorten the time that you use to read your task requirement and also the exhibit. I just remember that I've mentioned something wrong just now. I say that 150 minutes is 1.5 hours. No, it's actually 2.5 hours. If I'm not mistaken, it's 2.5 hours. So that was my mistake. Very sorry for that. So anyway, conclusion is time management is very crucial for SBL exam, and please be strict to yourself. Go to the next question when the time is up. Please do not continue to write the same question and extend your time, right? I wish you all the best.